Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to episode 11 of the Battered Mets Fan Podcast. I'm your host, Manny, aka Primo, alongside with me, Mr. Ronnie Diaz. A lot to get to in this episode, but before we begin, Ronnie, how we feeling?
We're feeling tired. No, we're feeling good.
Tired.
We're feeling good.
Feeling
Yeah.
good. Is it because of the late start times, West Coast, watching the
Yeah, a
Mets,
little bit.
or
No, kids.
kids?
Yeah. And
Well,
work.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what, Ronnie. Believe it or not, the rest of the season, there's no more West Coast trips for the Mets. I think the
Same
latest the Mets
thing.
play now is 8 p.m.
That's great. I think the same thing happened last year around this time.
Really, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Before, it's crazy to think that the second half of the season we're not traveling west. But let me just start
Better
with
for
this,
us.
Ronnie. June 8th is a pretty big day for Mets history. On this day, on June 8th in 1965, we drafted Nolan Ryan. And in
Oof.
1980, we drafted Darryl Strawberry.
Mm.
And in our lifetime, more familiar, 2010, we drafted Jacob DeGrom on June 8th. Some pretty big names. And the reason why I'm starting the episode like this is because I just want to start off and give all the flowers to Carson Bench.
Hmm.
At the moment, he seems like he is flourishing and he's showing signs that he could be maybe an all-star for the future. This year's a stretch, but he is showing us that he belongs. And he is, I mean, I made up my decision already, Ronnie. I remember a few episodes ago, I said, I don't know if I want to pick AJ Ewing or Carson Bench jersey, but I think Bench is the safe one now. I'm definitely going to buy number three. He went 5 for 5 yesterday in a
Hmm.
victory.
Historic.
First of all, I should say before we get into it, Ronnie, I'm sorry. I should let the fans know if you have not been paying attention to the Mets. We took 2 out of 3 in San Diego, and we finished the two West Coast trip. Well, the West Coast trip we finished 3-3. Didn't you'll take it considering it's Seattle and San Diego. Carson Bench yesterday went 5 for 5
Yeah.
on the Sunday's game. Three singles. What was it? Three singles, a home run, and a triple.
Hmm. Two
So far in
RBIs.
the month of June, he is batting 345 with 4 home runs, 6 RBIs. He's batting 828. I'm sorry, he has an 8.828 slugging percentage. He is on fire. Ronnie, I'll ask you right now. Do you think? Well, first of all, let me ask you this: do you think Carson Bench is going to be the reason why the Mets are going to somehow pull off a miraculous comeback and be 500 before the end of June? And do you think that the Mets are able to survive if his bat is hot and everyone else steps up? Do you think the Mets are able to survive until Lindor comes back? Who, by the way, is coming in 3 weeks.
I wouldn't place or I wouldn't bet solely on one man to carry this team, especially a rookie.
Hmm.
That's the reason why Stearns went after the players that he did. But I think he'll set the right example for everyone. Um, I think Friday and Saturday's game he went over, right? I don't think he
Yeah, he
got on
didn't do
base.
anything, and then he popped off.
So
Saturday night
yeah,
going into
yesterday,
Sunday, he popped off.
so he went 5 for 5 yesterday in the series finale. But I wouldn't rely on one man to, especially a rookie, to carry the team the way you just mentioned. I think if
Hmm.
everybody steps up, he can set the example and everybody can follow behind him.
Yeah.
But Soto had a terrible series. He
Yes, he
was hit.
did.
He was batting 301 last week, and now his batting average is like below 280. He had an O for this series. He didn't get on. I think he got on base twice yesterday. Um, yeah, two walks, and yeah, I mean he was hot. Now he's
Yeah.
not, and then you have everybody else who's inconsistent. Bo Bichette, it's like he hits in the last game of every series.
Yes, he does.
Uh,
It's frustrating. It's
so does
frustrating.
Simeon. So does Simeon. Um, let's not even talk about Torres. Not Torres. Vientos. He's
Torrance,
not even in the
Vientos.
lineup. He's not even in the lineup anymore.
No,
Um,
and that's good. That's why I
yeah,
believe in the Mets offense now.
I think. Yeah, so I wouldn't rely just on Benj alone. He's too young, and if we were to do that, I think you would have to say let's rebuild, keep the guys and rebuild,
Hmm.
trade away the pieces that they acquired during the offseason, become sellers. But if everybody steps up and he sets the example, Yeah, I think
They
they
were
can make a
looking
push
pretty good.
towards the end of
Well,
the season.
maybe it's just me, but I will tell you, Ronnie, the last time an outfielder gave me so much excitement to be on the roster, and like I looked forward to seeing him play every single day. Yoenis Cespedes, and that's like a decade ago, and he's the ultimate what if, in my opinion, for Mets in Mets history. The biggest what if. I felt like he would definitely get us over the hump. He was our Juan Soto. And I mean, outside of Juan Soto, let me rephrase that. Outside of Juan Soto, Benj has been the only outfielder I genuinely look forward to seeing play since Cespedes. And I gotta tell you, man, and the thing is, it's one thing, it's his bat, but man, his defense again. Emphasis on his defense.
Yeah.
He just looks like he really wants to be like. I feel like every day he's trying to prove how can he do better than the day before, and I just love that. And since we're on the topic of rookies, Christian Scott, he pitched one hell of a game. I would say out of all his performances, he's finally showing signs of maturity. He pitched on Friday, and I was surprised that Mendoza kept him in. I thought that he would definitely get pulled before the fifth inning because he had a high pitch count. But no, Mendoza stuck through with him. He pitched 5 2/3, gave up no runs. And when he kind of got himself into some trouble, he was able to manage to get out of trouble. Just overall, Christian Scott is showing signs that, okay, you could start to believe in this guy, kind of like McLean last year. And I mean, if you're a Mets fan right now, it's hard to not be excited about Benj and Christian Scott.
Yeah.
Like I don't that's those are my biggest positive and takeaways out of the series. I will give my opinion on the season on the series winning because believe it or not, I'm actually not. I'm happy, but like I'm not thrilled. I'm kind of actually like annoyed, and I'll explain why. But I'm just gonna start with the positives and say that Benj and Scott definitely gave us like hope, like legitimate hope, not just for the season, but for like the franchise. You know, you're starting to really believe in these guys that they could definitely be essential pieces to try to figure this out with Juan Soto and maybe Lindor, depending on his future with the Mets. Ronnie, any thoughts on Saturday's game, the one loss? Did you watch it? And if you watched the highlights or whatnot, or
I watched
what were
the
your
highlights.
thoughts? And just tell me what were you thinking Saturday night
Yeah,
final score?
I watched the highlights. Definitely a game that the Mets could have taken away.
Mm-hmm.
That was the game that Juan Soto did not hustle to first base after the second baseman bobbled it, correct?
Yes, and there was a runner on
On
third,
third,
so
correct. Yeah,
that was a run.
yeah. Uh, Commentators were very pissed, or they mentioned something, I believe.
Mm-hmm. He
Yeah,
got ripped.
we can't have that.
No.
I've always been a big proponent of you gotta hustle. I don't give a shit, bro. I
Mm-hmm.
don't care. You gotta hustle.
Okay.
Doesn't matter what kind of player you are. Doesn't matter who you are or what you've done. You gotta hustle, and that's why the fans. I think everybody across the league loved Brandon Nimmo. Like fans from all over,
He
real
ran on a
baseball fans,
walk.
real baseball fans love Nimmo for that because he
Yes.
hustled from the second he came up to the bigs. You just saw that kid hustling in the first base,
Yes.
and if it was a ball four and it got away from the catcher, best believe he was making it a second base
Yeah.
because of the fact of the way he hustled out of the
The batter's box.
batter's box. Yeah,
It's ridiculous that the name. It's a walk, and he was running. Like that. That tells you right there. He was all about the hustle.
yeah,
You're right, Ronnie. Listen, because I did see the only counter argument, and I would just bring it up to you. I want your opinion on it. He did have a calf injury. Well, no, we don't know the full health of Juan Soto, but my opinion, you could disagree or agree with me. If you are in the lineup, you're considered healthy, right? And Soto has shown that he had a calf injury, and it lingers time to time. And if it's a ground ball, even if you don't expect and again, I'm reading based off the defense, the only argument, a counter argument to that play. Um, if if it's a ground ball and it seems routine and the player bobbles, even if you have your head down, you're not paying attention, the fact that he didn't hustle, there is some defense to be there that would you risk an injury if it's just a routine ground ball? Because the runner's on third base, I find that total BS. You need to run. You need to set and on top of that, you're the best player on the team, right? Best roster. You're the most talented guy, and you're getting paid all this money. Take the money aside. He's the most talented player on this roster. Running to first base sets an example for the rest of the locker, especially when you have a young dugout, right? That lets you know if the star player, if the guy on the team is hustling, making these plays, it would more likely or not, trickle down and it'll be contagious. The other guys will, will definitely want to play for you, right? Now, if the runner was not on third and it was a routine ground ball, does it change your opinion that he did not run to first base or at least hustle, Ronnie?
Just a little bit. I think just to protect that injury. But at this point, I think going out every game counts.
Right.
So the fact that there was a runner on third base, you never know. We played baseball. If they see us coming out the box on a ground ball, you make the infielder nervous. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen to a professional ball player, but you never know. The guy might see you running down the baseline, and be like, "Damn, I got to be quick," because he's actually hustling. He may throw it away because he was exactly.
They panic.
Now, these guys are professionals, but they're all still human, so you never know what can happen. In the case that there was a runner on third base, he should have hustled.
Yeah.
If you're in the lineup, you're healthy, just like you said. So I find that BS, that argument BS. If there's no runners on, maybe if there's on second or first base, on first, I wouldn't take it. I'd take it for what it is, because everybody around the league does it. Do I think it's fair or do I think it does justice? No, it does not. What's the word? It doesn't. Justify it? It does not justify it at all. But in any case,
shouldn't matter, right?
It shouldn't matter. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, I agree with that. I just feel like because it's the Mets, not because it's the Mets, but I think because of the record and it's Juan Soto, I just feel like him doing if it was anyone on the roster, if it was Bo Bichette doing that, well, no, that's actually another bad example. If it was a Mark Viento, no, again, that's another bad example. If it was any other guy, like another player, like let's say Torrance, or if it was Melendez, you're just looking at you're like, whatever. But because it's Juan Soto and because it's a failing team at the moment, and you're doing that, and you cost a run, I think it makes it worse because of the run, because we did lose by one.
Yeah.
You just look at those plays and you're just like, dude, come on. It's frustrating. And to add more insult to injury, Juan Soto had a chance to win the game late after our bullpen. Ronnie, I don't want to bash the bullpen too much because for the most part, they've been they've been reliable for the most part this season. And they're not perfect. They're going to have these moments where they might slip up. And Saturday was a perfect example. They messed up. Warren was responsible, 7th inning, 2 outs, no one on. And you give up the first home run. Well, you give up a home run to a backup catcher or a third string catcher, I'm not sure, who's batting under 200. And, it's just that it adds more frustration. But then when you have opportunity to, come back and you have Juan Soto, the man you want at the plate.
Yeah.
And it goes back to last week in Seattle. You had an opportunity in extras. Juan Soto was at the plate with a runner on second to start off the extra innings. That's the guy you want. And he failed to deliver in this West Coast trip. And the record, even though we're 3-3, and it's frustrating, Ronnie, because Juan Soto, I feel like, has not given us a Mets moment yet. Like an OMG. Remember, Lindor has given us moments, and for how we feel about Lindor, he's giving us moments where you look back, you're like, damn. Remember that grand slam in the postseason? Or damn, remember that 3-run home run against the Yankees on a regular, summer night? Or it was a September? I forget. But Lindor has given us moments that, you look back and say, that was pretty cool. Juan Soto, we're a year and a half in, and I can't think of a signature moment where, okay, yeah, and I'm not saying he's bad. Not at all. It's just, we could have been 5-1 in his road trip. We could have had a record of 31-34, And, right? Yeah, I did the math right there. Easily could have been 5-1 if Juan Soto delivered. And it changes the whole narrative coming back home when you have the Cardinals coming to town and the Braves in the weekend. You have a crack at being 500. And Juan Soto needs to step up and deliver in those situations. He needs to be the guy. You know, I always joke about Aaron Judge. Like, that's the last guy you want to see when the game's on the line.
Yeah.
But I look at Juan Soto and I'm like, dude, like at the moment, I'd rather have someone else be at the plate. You know, like I'm very forgiving with Juan Soto. Like it's kind of annoying. It's frustrating because like that's the guy. Like I would get frustrated with Vientos. I would get frustrated with Bichette. Anyone on that lineup, but Juan Soto is like the last guy I want to be mad at because like he's the other guy that's hitting, or at least he's not this West Coast trip, but he's our star. But if you're not going to deliver in the crucial moments, it's like, you might as well, like, I would rather have Soto come up clutch in these two games than have him go 5 for 5 with like 3 home runs in another game. Win or lose. I would rather take the 2 wins where he came up clutch and hype up the guys in the locker room and hype up the fans than just have it like a 5 for 5, like a Carson Bench game, this past yesterday on Sunday. You know what I mean? Like that's where I'm coming from. It's just Soto needs to do better. We have him to higher expectations, and he needs to deliver in those moments. Like the stats are cool, but those moments matter. Like these moments matter. This could have definitely been a West Coast. If the Mets turned around, we could look at the West Coast trip and say, yeah, our pitching was great. Bench coming out playing awesome, and Juan Soto gave us 2 moments where he carried the Mets and took it from the other opponents. But no, that didn't happen. So 3-3, that's fine, but you got to dig into the deficit eventually, right, Ronnie? And these were just 2 opportunities, and our best guy on the lineup did not deliver, and it's just kind of annoyed by that. I'm not frustrated. I'm just like very annoyed by that and agitated. I don't know if you would agree with how I'm feeling about that, or if you have any more thoughts on that.
No, I agree. I would say to cut him some slack. He hasn't had those oh my god moments like you just mentioned, the way Francisco Lindor has.
Right.
So I'll agree there. But for the most part, I think he's doing fair considering the numbers he's put up previous season. I think his best year was with the Yankees. No, what was it? 2 years ago. He did put up his best numbers that year, but
Yeah.
so far, when I look back at his numbers, I think he's putting up the same type of numbers he did throughout his career. So I think we're just waiting for that big factor. We've honed in on so much negativity surrounding Lindor this season. We took in all the noise last year when Soto, debuted as a Met, and all the Yankee fans were like, "Oh, he's not happy. Look at him.
Yeah.
He's not playing the way he does. He doesn't want to be there." So I think we're being hard on him for the fact that he hasn't given us those moments yet, and we have someone else who has. I think the fan base is split on Francisco Lindor. I think that it's always been that way.
Yes, it has.
But everybody loved the fact that Juan Soto chose the Mets, obviously for various reasons. And just that pressure, or at least just that expectation that we have of him, that's what's making us feel that way about him. So like I said, I'd agree with you there that he hasn't given us those moments there, but I'm going to be fair on the criticism. I wish he could do more, but I think he's playing the way he always has. Now, I will say, to finish the topic on Juan Soto, I think this was his time to step up as a leader. I know he doesn't want it, but if he wants to be a legend, this would have been the time.
We need it. Yeah.
This would have been the perfect time to start your legacy, because you had our leader. The leader of the team was down, and he was going to be down for quite some time. The Mets were struggling, or are struggling. So him being the highest paid athlete in the world, I believe, right? The highest paid athlete, or the biggest contract ever.
Biggest contract, yeah.
This was his time to do so. Now, it's not going to affect his Hall of Fame ballot or his, when it's time for him to become a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
And who knows how many rings he's going to win throughout his career. But this would have made a big statement if he would have came out and been the leader that we know that he could be.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed. I'll tell you what. Because we're gonna talk about towards the end of the episode with the New York Knicks, but because Game 3 is coming up soon. By the time it's recording, I think they're about to tip off in about 10-20 minutes.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. Let's talk about Jalen Brunson that's going on in the city.
Right.
In my opinion, Juan Soto winning a championship with the New York Mets, that would definitely put him up there. I mean, definitely for Met fans, he's going to crack the top 3 in my opinion. I think no doubt winning a championship. That's my opinion. It's very early to say. Because there's other great Met players. This is top of my head. I would believe that him winning a championship at this point would probably crack him the top 3 all-timer for the Mets, and it would beef up his resume for Hall of Fame. Not that he's not a Hall of Famer, but there's certain levels, I believe, in Hall of Fame. Like there's certain tiers, right? And it's just something about owning a market like New York, where you take a market like New York and you put them in like a prestigious championship. One championship feels like an eternity, but like if you have a dynasty, that's like a whole other level.
Yeah.
And I just feel like Juan Soto winning just one championship puts him in a class in New York lore that like it's hard to debate that anyone's better than him. And he has an opportunity here with New York. It's a bit rocky to start off so far, and it's still early to say, but you're right. I just feel like now is the time to like step up and just present us and say, listen, guys, like it's all right. Like we got this, and guide the guys. It looks bleak, and you're able to take the Mets out of this situation and turn it around until Lindor comes back and these other injuries come back.
Yeah.
That's when the fans are like, even during the bad days, I love this guy. I'm all for this guy because look what he's able to do when the Mets were, it was bad. And so I totally agree with that. I totally agree with that assessment. Real quick, Ronnie, before we finish wrapping up the San Diego series, real quick, last thought. Nolan McLean. Now, I don't want to criticize him. He had wasn't amazing. It was another good start. I think by his standards, from what we've seen from the past, it was good, not amazing. 6 innings, 1 run, you would imagine that, hey, that's great. But if I were to criticize or nitpick, he had over 60 pitches thrown through 3 innings. And that's where you're just like, you need to do better with your command. And again, it just feels like his sinker, something's wrong with his sinker. I don't know if that's because Alvarez is out and he's just comfortable with Alvarez. I'm not sure. But it just feels like he needs to work on that and he needs to find it quick because that sinker is what elevates his game to where he's a prime Cy Young candidate. Or at least that's the potential for him, right? And so I don't want to bash the guy because it was a good outing and he did help out the bullpen. Our bullpen is being taxed. So he had a good start, but it just feels like he could be better if he would have had a better command and not throw so many damn pitches in the first three and a half innings, I believe it was. So again, credit to Mendoza. I don't give him too much credit these days, but credit to him. He stuck with him. I was shocked he went out for the 6th inning and tried to pitch through. Given that he was already at 90, his pitch count, but you let the man pitch through. He got it done. And, even though we lost, McLean, for the most part, had a good start. And it's the same story with McLean sometimes. The bullpen, no offense to help him, support him. And the bullpen just, screwed up. So, final thoughts, Ronnie, for San Diego Padres series. Overall, I think it's just a coming out party for the rookies. And Juan Soto, he is a better hitter at home. I'm hoping that he turns it around at home. I have no problem. I have comfort in him going after Cardinal pitchers. They're not. There's nothing elite in my opinion about the Cardinals pitcher. So I feel like it could have a good bounce back series. But mostly the focus again was just really on Bench and Christian Scott, like there, and AJ Ewing too. He has some pretty good at bats in there. Nothing amazing, but he went after the best reliever in baseball, I imagine, and Miller, I believe, and he got a base hit, worked out a tough walk. He's kind of like a rally starter guy, and for a rookie, that's pretty damn impressive.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think it's a coming out party for the young guys, like you just said. And I think the veterans are starting to take a look at this as they just got to finish the season.
Yeah, they got to
I'm
push through.
starting to think when I see these games that they're just playing for that reason, because they probably see something that obviously fans don't see inside the clubhouse or on the field, because they're personally there, but they're going out there just to. I don't see them picking each other up.
It's weird. It's a
Why is
weird
Mark
vibe.
Vientos still struggling?
Yeah. Um,
Why is Brett Beatty also same thing? Why is he still struggling? You got
it's a weird
Jared
time.
Young. He's hitting a lot better than most. Simeon Bichette seems to be inconsistent all the time. So I think the veterans are just pushing through because they know
Hmm.
they have a whole long way to go. I don't see them as enthusiastic as they were this time around last year. The Mets didn't go anywhere last year, but last year in the beginning they were on fire. Like they were
Yeah.
putting teams to shame. And
Yeah.
I was wrong about that team because eventually they fell off the radar and
Yeah.
yeah.
Unfortunately. Um, well, I did mention Alvarez. I'm sorry. Lindor's coming back in 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So at this point, it's survivor mode for the Mets. Can you stay within 7 to 4 game range when Lindor comes back? Maybe it'll add life to the lineup, much needed. Alvarez looks like he might be coming back soon, and unfortunately, I feel like the offense is better with Mark Vientos being benched. I think his spot right now is to come off the bench, and that's not going to help his production. But I mean, when he comes into the game, he's grounding out or striking out, and at this point, it's pretty sad to see. But I went and ran with him. I'm not going to keep going. Um, with Mark Vientos, I mean, I'm pretty much done with that guy. But Polanco's supposed to come back this series against the Cardinals, and he had a set, and my mic froze. It looks like Polanco being now. I think the reality has to kick in, Ronnie. I think Polanco is just not going to be part of this anymore, or we can't rely on him. Which then puts us in a position where we need to rely on Valientos to come up when Chris Young is taking a day off, or if he goes down or whatnot. So I don't
Yeah.
know
I
what you're thinking.
I think he needs to come off the bench. I honestly don't care at this point. I'm at the point in the season where I don't care what kind of changes they make. It's not gonna make a difference if they're gonna continue playing this way.
Yeah.
Nothing happened. Nobody's being held accountable after getting swept by the Marlins. So I really have nothing to say. I don't want to keep talking about
Beating a
Vientos.
dead
This is
horse.
just it pisses me off because
Yeah.
everybody had high hopes for this guy, and the things that he says the things that he says is just
Yeah, it's
yeah,
ridiculous. It's
yeah,
ridiculous. I was really
yeah.
hoping Polanco would come back and bench Vientos, but yeah, it looks like there's no hope there at this point, and it's becoming a disaster in that situation. But until that happens, I mean, for now, Young needs to be an everyday player, and just gotta hope that Vientos somehow turns it around. But I don't believe in it no more. Um, a
Got to give
hard
credit to
hat,
Stearns.
yeah, that's a Stearns problem, but hard
Got to
hat
give. Oh.
and Que Pena awards, Ronnie, for the weekend. Who's your hard hat winner and who's your Que Pena?
My hard hat winner has to be Carson Bench. I don't think he got on base the first two games, or he had offers. Actually, he went 1 for 4 on Saturday. But
Yeah,
yesterday he had a historic 5 for 5 day. So,
he finished series 6 for 6.
um, so yeah, exactly. Yeah,
That's
his last
impressive.
6 at bats, he got on base. Got 6 hits, and then my Que Pena award, Juan Soto
Mm.
going
Mhm.
0 for 10 or 0 for 11 and costing the Mets possibly the game on Saturday. If he would have hustled, maybe he would have been safe. The run would have came in, and who knows what the next batter could have done
Yeah,
after that. So
yeah.
yeah,
I think that moment itself is a Kepena. It was like a Kepena moment. It's like, dude, you can't. It went viral, and it's
yeah,
yeah. No, he cost us the game on Saturday. This could have been a sweep, and
yeah,
we could have won the series in the Mariners. And that just can't happen. You can't have that. I'm with you. That's my Kepena as well. Juan Soto needs to do better with that, and very rare. I would imagine it's like a rare Kepena for him, but it was a rough
yeah,
weekend for him, rough series. And
yeah,
but the good thing with Juan Soto is that he's an all-star. He's a pro, and he would. I'm confident that he'll turn it around. Like I said, he's a better hitter. He's batting over 300 at home, and so I expect him to turn it around.
yeah.
My since you said bench is the hard hat winner, I would give mine to Christian Scott for
Okay.
pitching much better. Did you know, Ronnie, that his first start he threw like 45 pitches, he walked like 5 people, and just a horrible start. I don't even know if he went past an inning or two. And that start or that time he pitched, Ronnie, believe it or not, that date was the last time the New York Knicks lost the game,
Bro.
and it's been a
I'll,
while.
I
That
you
was
know
like
I
almost 20
saw
days ago.
that was 2 months ago. Like
Yeah,
I was a stat came up that they had. I think it's been they said 10 weeks or something like that
something like that. Yeah, and that's the last
that
time
they had
Scott
the Knicks
pitched.
haven't
That
lost. Like
yeah,
what?
it was on the same day Scott first pitched, and it was completely
Wow,
brutal. And you're just thinking, oh boy, maybe we need to send this guy down. That's how
bro.
far. Because now it feels like that was because I just said in the beginning of the episode he's showing signs of maturity, and he
Hmm.
seems like he knows he trusts himself, and he's pitching so much better, which is much needed for this roster, especially the
Yeah.
depth of the pitching. So to say Christian Scott pitched horrible, giving up 5 walks, you're just like, when was that? That was
Hmm.
2 months ago, and this is the last time the Knicks actually lost the game.
That's crazy, bro.
So no, it's wild.
Playoffs are
I
too long.
guess real quick before we get in our quick analysis of the we got our quick thoughts on the New York because they're about to tip off. Ronnie, Freddie Peralta, your boy, he's seeking 8 years, $218 million extension.
Nah,
No, so you're selling, even if
nah, bro. I'm
selling now
not getting in
before,
that
yeah.
kind of
He's
contract.
looking
Nah.
for what Max Fried got in the Yankees, that same level of contract for Freddie Peralta. He's seeking 8 years, 218. It's
No,
that's insane. I know
that's
that's
a
a lot.
big fat no.
Yeah, and we gave up Sprout for that, so I was kind of big on Sprout. So that's why I'm like kind of annoyed that we gave him up to get Peralta, and now we're in a situation. That's when we got to see what happens. Now, real quick, let's wrap it up on this. Believe it or not, Ronnie, I actually did some quick reporting. Uh, so I asked a couple, I know a couple of active NYPD officers and a retired NYPD officer or someone that served. And I asked them because there was this thing online that was going around that if Jalen Brunson, I'm not going to say what crime, but if he were to commit a felony or a crime in the middle of Times Square, would he walk away? So I'm like, you know what? Let me ask this with some like actual NYPD officers. Let me ask them. And it turns out all of them agree. They will let him walk. That's the level that Jalen Brunson's on. He would walk away from a crime scene that he committed. So I want to ask you this, Ronnie, because it seems like, again, we've discussed this last time. I want to discuss it again. That Jalen Brunson winning a championship would be number one, or he would be one of the greatest athletes, at least in the Knicks franchise. He'd be number one. Can you remember the last time that New York was buzzing at the level it is today with the New York Knicks? Because I look back in our lifetime, and I can remember a time that the city was this, like in levels of like insanity, with a huge game. Like the ones that come to my mind, Ronnie, um, the 2000 World Series, the 9/11 incident, and the World Series with the Yankees and the Diamondbacks. the '09 Yankees World Series against Phillies, the inaugural for the season. I'm sorry, for the stadium. The Mets in the World Series in 2015, and the Giants and that Super Bowl when the Patriots were undefeated. And not
Oh
the, I
yeah.
think the
Hmm.
first one was bigger than this because the Patriots were undefeated. They're going for history,
Yeah.
and the Giants went in there and they won. Other than those, those sports moments in New York
No, and the
history,
biggest and possibly the biggest. Sorry to cut you off. Possibly the
yeah,
biggest World Series ever was back in 2024. That could have potentially been another World Subway Series, but it was the Yankees and Dodgers.
the
Um,
potential was there. But even the Yankees Dodgers, that was a big deal.
yeah,
But
exactly.
it just feels, you see, but it just feels like it falls short of what's going on right now with the
This,
Knicks and the
if
Spurs.
you, I mean, think about it. You already know they haven't won since 1973, and there's potential to finally bring a chip after all that suffering. Um, I'm not in New York. We're not in New York right now, but like you said, the city is buzzing. Yes, New York is a baseball state, but I think there's more basketball fans, I want to say, than
Mm.
baseball fans because New York is
Because
so
we're
fast
split.
paced.
Because we have two teams. So it
Well,
feels
I
just feels like
mean,
a smaller community.
yeah, I mean, well, the other AL team has been there longer. They have more history. So the
Gotcha.
other NY team. But the Knicks, they haven't won since 1973. Um, yeah, I don't even think the 2015 Mets World Series appearance was as big as this, as the
Really?
videos that I'm seeing. You see it every time the Knicks make it to the playoffs on Instagram.
Yeah.
Those
Yeah.
fans, those videos go viral. They go
Yeah.
crazy. And I think I remember one saying, um, the Heat, the Knicks came to play the Heat in the playoffs. I think it
Hmm.
was the first round or second round, something like that. The Knicks won in New York. Fans went crazy. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it was the Knicks versus Heat because when the Heat played a playoff game here, the fans left the game. They won.
Yeah.
They left calmly. We were in Bayside that night, that one night.
Hmm.
But they were all calm coming out of the stadium, happy that
Yeah.
they won, but it wasn't like the way the Knicks fans
Yeah.
were when every time New York wins.
It is true. I will tell you right now. I went to a Heat playoff game when LeBron was here actually, and I went to a game and it was round two. I forgot who we were playing, but it was round two. A buddy of mine invited me, and I said, "Yeah, why not? I'm down." And Heat won, and this was on their run to their first championship, and in the Big Three era. And I got to my car like after the game. I got to my car no problem in like 10 minutes. It's like a 10-minute walk to the parking garage. It wasn't an issue. There wasn't mosh pits. There wasn't a huge crowd. It was, it's just like business as usual. Awesome win. Everyone coming down. Let's go. But then everyone just outside stadium. Everyone just parted their ways, and it's like everyone's back into their normal lives. They're getting ready for tomorrow.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
just listen. If you're hardcore, you're just waiting for the news tomorrow to just digest what just happened. Just like a casual atmosphere was incredible. I'm not trying to throw shade, but there's levels to it, man. And what I see right now with the New York Knicks is ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. So
yeah.
I
It
think
was,
tonight it has potential to be historic if the Knicks were to win, but it
which I
could
think so.
backfire because if they were to lose, which I gotta tell you, I find it hard to believe the Knicks drop one at the Garden because of the hype and because of the lore and because
No,
it's just the city's ready to just. I feel like the roof is gonna fall on the on the court. But I will say this, Ronnie, if they were to drop a game, it might be a series. It might be a tight one. I still say it. Knicks in six.
Knicks and
We
six.
gotta see.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna have to disagree there. I think they'll win
Mhm.
tonight, and that's why I said if they go back to New York 2-0 for the very same reason
You
you
said
just
sweep.
said,
You said
they can
sweep.
sweep because that's gonna, bro. This team is different.
Yeah.
Like I have an eye to see the way the teams are, and it's because pretty much I've been trained the jobs that I've had to manage teams and things like that, or teams that I was part of that that the manager or whatever wanted to win. I'm not talking about sports. I'm talking about mindset in job settings, right?
Yeah.
And when you see this team, like I've always said it, don't celebrate before you win anything. Do not celebrate, because once you celebrate, that's it. Esas
It's an emotional
ganas,
tax.
is exactly, that's gone. That
Yeah.
feeling, that urge to win, that hunger is gone, because now you just let it all
That's a good
go.
point.
And you
That is a
see
good
that
point.
all the time in every sport, whether it's
That's a good
hockey,
point.
basketball, baseball, soccer. It doesn't matter. When teams win right before heading into the final, the championship game,
Yeah.
and they celebrate, they're not
Proud.
everybody's like Elia Taporia.
Yeah.
That guy can celebrate all he wants, because when he
True.
celebrates, he actually wins. And
That's
I don't
true.
know, that guy is just a different human. But you see it all the time. This team does not look like that kind of team. I think these guys are out there and they're hungry and they're serious about their business. They're gonna feed into that crowd. They're gonna take in everything, and I think that's
Probably.
just gonna belt
Probably.
to ass tonight.
Probably. You're
And
right. The Spurs have to adjust, and they're a young rookie. Remember, the coach is a rookie too. This is their first time in this, and you're seeing it in your very eyes.
hey,
Like
you
they
just said
look
it.
rattled. They look
You
shook.
just said it, bro. This Knicks team has experience.
Yeah,
How many times have they been in the playoffs the last few seasons? And I was right.
as a
It was the
unit
Knicks versus the Heat
together.
back in 2023 in the Eastern Conference Final. It was the third round or the final for the conference.
Yeah,
Right? Was it
yeah.
semifinal?
It
No,
was a semi,
semifinal.
yeah,
Sorry,
semi,
second
semi.
round. It was second
Yeah,
round. Yeah. So it's the fans are different, and I don't care what anybody says. The fans have a lot to do when it comes to supporting their teams.
yeah,
The players feel it.
yeah, yeah.
So the players know the history. They know their fans. They know they're gonna be in New York. They didn't celebrate too much when they won.
Business
A
as usual.
celebration is good. It's good. You can celebrate, but that's it.
Yeah,
Time to work right after, because you haven't
yeah.
won anything yet, and that's exactly what they did.
No,
So I think
all
they're
good
they're, they're
points.
ready.
All good points. I'll end it with this, Ronnie. No, very good points. What the Knicks got going for them, Mikal Bridges, he was part of the Phoenix Suns squad a few years ago when they lost to the Milwaukee Bucks in the finals, and they were up 2-0. And Mikal Bridges, after winning Game 2, he said, "We're not like he didn't say we're not satisfied, but he looked like he told the reporters like he's not like keep it going, like he wanted to keep going. The drive is there, like." People were joking that he has PTSD from the Milwaukee Bucks series, and you could call it PTSD. I think that's just maturity. Like I was in a situation
It's
before, and I know what it's like
experience.
to lose, and
Yeah,
you
it's
know that's
experience.
also advantage for the New York Knicks. And going back to your point with the emotions that I made early, Copa America,
Yeah,
My
man.
dear Colombia team, we were crying on the field when they beat Uruguay to make the final, and that doesn't happen
Exactly,
a lot for you,
bro.
Colombia. But you saw the
I got
emotion. You would have
goosebumps.
thought they won the Copa America,
Yeah,
and then
I
what
got
happened when they
goosebumps.
played the final? It was a different level. And when the guys were walking out, you and I looked at each other and say, "Yo, they're scared." Because
Yeah,
they were breathing hard and they
it's
felt the pressure. It's an
all that.
emotional drain. It's an
Yeah,
emotional drain
I
for
got
them.
goosebumps because I don't know if you saw the documentary on Netflix, James.
I need to
Last
watch
night
it.
I saw episode 3, and it spoke about Copa America. They spoke about Copa America, and that same thought, everything I just said and what you just mentioned was exactly what I thought. They showed the emotions and everybody crying because they made it to the final in Copa America.
You didn't win
And
anything.
in my head, it brought me back, and I'm like, damn, these guys they're not. I don't think they're gonna be ready for Argentina. Argentina just won the World Cup final. This team has experience.
Yeah,
They're gonna play in Miami, and
very chill.
it's
Very
it's
chill.
it's it's a different atmosphere. So
Yeah,
yeah, it I thought the same thing, the
yeah.
same exact thing.
Well, we'll see. We're gonna see tonight. You say sweep. I think I think New York might take. I think they'll win tonight, and then I think the Spurs take the next two. Believe it or not, something just tells me the series is not done yet. I don't know, but that's just me. That's just my instincts with the series. Enough with the basketball. The Mets are heading to home
Apologize to
to play the
CEO.
Northern. This is your CEO. He's gonna get mad watching this. Real quick, Ronnie. So far I'm 2 in a row. I'm a little heater with the Mets
Yeah,
series.
hard hat to you.
Hard hats. I'm being
No,
consistent.
for
Finally,
you.
I'm trying to be like bench, trying to be consistent on the analysis. I think the Mets will actually win this series as well. I think we're gonna head high going into the Brave series. We have some hope, and then I think we have a nice little reality check that we're not as good as we hope to be with the But we'll get to that for the next episode. For now, I think we'll win 2 out of 3. I think
I
Peralta
do
has
too.
another good outing. I think Juan Soto turns it around. Excuse me. And Chris Young is definitely a little spark that we needed to replace Vientos. I feel like the lineup's a little more dangerous. I feel like we can score more runs. And I think we'll take 2 out of 3 from the Cardinals.
Yeah, I
I think
think
we
so
will.
too. 2 out of 3.
I think so.
Just because they're playing at home, and when they play at home, those fans,
They
man,
bring it. Shout out to all the
bro.
Met fans showing up to the game, man. I
I told
would
you a
be with
couple
them.
weeks ago. I told you a couple weeks ago that after getting swept by the Marlins, it all depends on how the fans show out, how this homestand will be. Said and done. Those guys were there on Monday or Tuesday, whenever they played,
Shout out to
Tuesday
all the
night
fans.
or Monday night, and it's like, bro, these guys. I wish I was there,
I would too.
but
And Ronnie, for $20, $10,
yeah,
I'd buy the season tickets. I would be there
yeah.
every day.
And if it's something about Mets players that always love playing for the fans, so I think
Hell
they'll
yeah.
take 2 out of 3 also.
Hell yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So with that being said, if you're watching on YouTube, well, no, you actually watch it. We have to watch this on YouTube. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Till the next episode, Ronnie. LFGM,
LGM.
and yeah, Mark Vientos. Keep your house on the bench.